Hey
Hello.
everybody, how's it going?
Good morning.
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 Happy August 4th to everybody listening. It is the Townstar AMA. I hope everybody's excited and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to listen to some of our updates. How you doing, Farmer Michelle?
Good, very good. Happy
Good.
Friday.
We got Que Sera Sera, we got Sage, we got Farmer Michelle, Ninja Surprise, and today we don't have a Musashi, so I'll be taking his place. Doing my best. This is Volcron. Good morning, everybody. We will today. We'll be doing text chat on Discord, just like normal. And if you're listening to this, you're listening on YouTube, probably. So let's all say a little hello on Discord. All right. So we've been doing this a little over a year at this point. We started last July. I hope everybody's been enjoying them. There's always some excitement, and we meet just to share what's going on, answer questions. Be sure to type those into Discord. Vogue says the buffering seems fixed, so thank you to our hardworking teammates who've set that up. And yeah, we just like to, walk the walk. So good morning, Pure Honey, Ive715, XWAR. No free lunch. Are you listening? How's it sound? Fire Belfry. Audio's excellent today. Oh, great. Hey, Rocket Unit. Lazy Lumberjack. Hey, man. And Tamrar. All right. Well, we'll probably get started here. Let's do something fun. What do you guys think about something interesting, something fishy, something aquatic? What do you think?
I got up extra early the other morning to go for a walk at 6:30, which is really, really early for me.
It
I
is
actually went
early.
back to bed after I went for my beach walk before meeting started. But while I was out there, I saw a dead stingray on the beach,
Whoa.
which is odd. We don't usually see stingrays washed up on the beach in Myrtle Beach. Usually it's just a bunch of jellyfish. But it was
Oh,
very
wow.
strange to
Are they
see
big?
the jellyfish.
No,
Yeah, they're
the
probably
stingray.
the stingray. Yeah, he was pretty big. He was more than a foot around, and his tail was probably like a foot and a half long. It was kind of sad. I don't know where he came from. He must have got like trapped in the surf when the surf comes up. I don't know how it all works. I'm not that great at the ocean. I try not to go too far out because I'm very worried that I'm going to get sucked into the ocean. It's a dangerous place out there.
It is. Wow. Well, that's poor Stingray. Are you sure
you
it
poke-
wasn't a mermaid? I saw a mockumentary about that.
Do they turn into stingrays when they die?
No, they just apparently
Oh.
wash up on History Channel. Um,
Maybe he was just sleeping. Maybe he wasn't dead. Maybe he's just taking a
Did you
break.
poke it with a stick?
I did not
That's-
poke it. I went
That's how you
very
test it.
far around.
Wow. How about you, Ninja Surprise? You got any interesting experiences with the water world?
Yeah, when I was I think like around 14 years old or so, I actually went shark diving. It wasn't like in the ocean or anything like that, but it was basically like the local aquarium over by me. They were actually off. They have like this big tank, and there's some sharks that swim around in it. And pretty much like they were offering that you can go down into like in the cage, and you could basically sort of swim with the sharks from behind a protective barrier. So I did that when I was younger, when I was like about 14 or so, and it was a pretty fun experience. You get like really up close with them. I mean, of course, the the guy, I don't know if you want to call it the guide or the instructor, was basically like, yeah, don't put your hands out there. I'm like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'm not gonna put my hands out there. I don't want to be a one get my become like become like shark food, So yeah, it was like pretty common logic, but yeah, I mean, other than that though, yeah, shark diving is pretty cool if you guys want to get up close to sharks.
Wow. Do you know about how long were you in there?
I don't really remember. I think it was maybe somewhere between maybe like around 45 minutes, maybe, or between maybe 30
my
and 45
gosh.
minutes or so. It's it goes fast, believe it or not, because you're just really it's such like an intriguing thing to do, and it's just like this completely different world that it just feels like. And you're like, oh my God, big sharks.
I'm looking at these animated GIFs Sage is posting it.
Baby shark,
Oh my
baby.
goodness. How about you, Kesar Sarah? You got any interactions with fish?
Honestly, I've not had much interaction with fish. I could probably count on one hand the number of times I've eaten fish in my life, even.
Oh, wow.
The most interaction would be is that I used to have a fish tank, but I never had the heart to put a fish in it. Just the idea of it
Yeah.
sounded so depressing. So that's the most I got.
Wow. That is awesome. That is very heartwarming. I've felt the same. How about you, Mr. Sage?
Oh, lots of fish stories. My father was, of course, in the Navy, so we lived a lot of places near the oceans. Maybe we were talking about sharks. My third son and I went to the Gulf of Mexico to swim with whale sharks. They're not actually sharks, right? They're giant fish, but when you jump in off the boat and they're just swimming lazily along, you're not allowed to touch them, but you can be next to them. And it's just an insane, incredible experience to be next to this thing that's about, I don't know, the size of a bus,
Oh,
gentle,
wow.
just moving, and you swim and keep up with it. And it's like, well, great. You're not allowed to touch it or interact with it at all. But it is an amazing thing to see a beast that large, a foot away from your face. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah. I did have
That's
another shark interaction because of one of the PR trips we made for Lord of the Rings back in the day. Went down to Australia, New Zealand, and then stopped in Australia, and that was I got to go on the Great Barrier Reef, and there's nothing like seeing big open area and then a live wild shark look at you.
Oh my
This one was like
gosh.
30 yards away, but the visceral spike of fear was like, okay, I'm moving now. I'm
Oh my
moving.
gosh. Wow. I don't have too many fishy experiences, but um, I was going to make a reference to the old IRC Trout Command, but actually your story reminds me of first time I went to the tiger sanctuary. I didn't know what to expect, and when I came around a corner, off in the distance, like about 100 yards away, I saw a tiger. But the chain link fence between me and him, my eyes didn't pick up, and those orange and black stripes, like 100 or so yards away. I was frozen. I couldn't believe it. Like maybe that's how you felt when you saw the shark. But
That was definitely it. I was visceral. I have no idea what to do. Spike of fear. And
wow,
then I was like, okay, I'm getting away. And he didn't care. He didn't give a crap about me. He was just swimming, but swimming was
yeah,
next.
wow. Well, that's awesome. Well, let's move on to our headlines. Um, uh, let's see, Farmer Michelle, do you want to MC this?
Yeah, I can do that. Looks like we're starting with some chat with Kesar Sarah about earnings.
Yes, so we have the first draft of the light paper ready. Yesterday, we had a first discussion on it. There are a few details that we are still ironing out, but we are really hopeful that next week it should be out, and we'll have a lot more details to share in the next CNA.
Yeah, I would jump in. Can I share a couple of notes? I was sitting through the review. Kesar Asra and I were having a pretty in-depth discussion. One of the comments, and I won't share details. It's just not appropriate to share too early yet. But some of the new innovative thinking that Kesar Asra put together, complimented him on something that I'm almost sure that nobody's thought of before. So there's some good stuff there. It's interesting, but you guys know how it goes. I mean, everybody, we want to get this out as soon as possible. We want to get it nailed down, but we also want to do it well. And so you just rest assured that's happening.
I think our next headline here is a reward structure for this next event.
We have no plans as of now to change any of the reward structure. If we do, we'll let people know. The competitions will go on as they are. We've been hearing from a lot of people that it would be great to have a 1 week break. So we are figuring that part out right now, how we would go about doing that. But other than that, we're good.
All right. So if everyone couldn't hear that, it's a reward structure staying the same for next week. There will be an announcement if we decide to change it. There are no direct plans to change anything now. We do hear people talking about might wanting to take a week off, so we'll think about it and let you guys know. And let's move on to our next headline here, which is mobile updates.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Well, everybody wants to have as many good experiences with this game is on as many platforms as we can. So mobile is priority. We have a significant portion of our dev team dedicated to it. Our CEO recently picked up, and so did Mr. Sage here, picked up our mobile game, and they were pleasantly surprised. So that was nice to hear how it played on, I think, an iOS device they were using. So we're targeting HTML5 first, right? So in the browsers on mobile, we want that to be a really good experience because what you get there is the same as you get on any desktop. It's a very compatible way to do it. And right now, the features we're working on are, of course, anybody who's tried mobile, you've seen the forced landscape mode, which I think is nice. All the touch inputs, making sure the spinning and the clicking and even the mobile stuff, like, well, give it a try. If you haven't tried it mobile, log in and see what it's like to place things, because that's a very different mechanic from how it is on desktop. And devs worked real hard on that. It's great. Going to continue to improve. So any feedback you have, UI, whatever, let us know. Currently, we're working on a couple visual artifacts. There's a little black bar on some devices at the bottom. That's in test right now. And that's our mobile update.
Awesome, thanks. What about Gala Chain? We got any Gala Chain updates?
Yeah. Actually, I thought it would be interesting to share a percent done with you guys. Sometimes that adds clarity. We're really detail oriented on how we plan things out. We're 56% done integrating Gala Chain into the game. Gala itself, Gala Chain is way ahead of where where we've been able to pull it into Townstar. And the remaining tasks, I think, are pretty doable. There's not too much sway there. Some of the harder things to predict, we're like, confidence levels or whatever estimates. But this is pretty straightforward task. Looking forward to seeing it come out. And it's not just, a win earning kind of a thing. It's a whole new chain. So it changes the way we get inventory, the way we refer to NFTs and everything. It's actually a really good thing, and I'm excited to see it happen. So it is in progress, 56% done.
Awesome. Well, that's exciting to hear. Let's see. What else do we have to talk about here? Any updates on nodes?
Yeah, we do have updates. I am not going to Tom Holland this, so I don't want to leak anything Bitbender or SageMaker might have to say. I would just say that this is in parallel on topics of earnings, of course, on Gala Chain, and even on mobile, right? So our nodes are at an executive level and a cross-team level. Everybody's working on it behind the scenes at Gala. I can tell you from engineering perspective, some of the stuff we've thought about for nodes, and you guys feel free to react to this on Discord. We're thinking about different high compute things, like stuff that chews up a bunch of CPU. And I mentioned this back in April, but pushing out the fast forward updates to nodes and getting a consensus that way. That way, your nodes are doing something valuable, you're contributing back to the ecosystem, and then we're able to reduce our server costs as well, which would be a really nice win. Other than that, possibly using our, and I don't know how many guildmates are listening that have an interest in this, but our future public-facing API for Townstar. I'm not giving you dates on that, but that might be something that nodes could act as a proxy for. Now, this is just spitballing, right? We got to run it through the feasibility thing, but I want to let you guys know nodes are something we take seriously and we're thinking heavily about. So yeah, that's a nodes update.
Awesome. Thanks. What do we got next here? Do we have any updates on when? Oh, we did competition and mayhem updates already here. I guess I will remind everybody that the town burn for Gala ends September 15th. So don't forget to burn your town and turn it into Gala if you have not done that already. It is getting close here. We got like, what, a month and a half? So get it done if you haven't done it already. If you need help, let me know. Reach out in the chat. Do we have any social media updates? Ninja Surprise.
Yeah. So, a little bit of a Zealy update here. So, thanks guys to all of you who participated in doing the Zealy quest. It's been really awesome seeing the content that you put out there. So, the rewards for last month in July should be going out today, I believe. So the rewards for the top 10 who placed in the top 10 are going to be the Green Forge and the Trinity Gemworks. Both are rare NFTs. So these are our first rewards that we're going to be giving out to those that are really showcasing, like a lot of hard work completing those yearly quests. A little bit of update for that. We are currently looking into adding some more quests. So I'm working on adding a couple of new quests there and maybe just kind of tinkering around with some other reward ideas. So a little bit about the Zeely board, and something else to add too is we've been actually listed on the Magic Store, which is an aggregator for other Web3 games. So Townstar just got added on there. So we might be looking into doing some collaboration stuff with them, and also the Elixir launcher. If you guys don't know what the Elixir launcher is, it's a game launcher specifically made for Web3 games. So Townstar is going to be added on there, and I'm going to be looking into some ways that maybe we could do some collaboration work with them as well. So a little bit of a social media update for you guys with that, and yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Ninja Surprise. That sounds exciting. Let's see. I think we're moving on to game updates for this week. What all did we do?
All right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was a lot. So last Friday's release was probably one of our biggest ever. We had a huge push last week for any player-facing bugs, as you all saw, the Noir Hero, tons of other NFTs. I personally fixed the storage speeds on 71 NFTs. It was a ton that went out Friday. And then, of course, Tuesday we had other things that went out. I think 12 things that went out Tuesday before the competition started. Going out today, the release candidate has. Oh, actually, I should also mention people who were accidentally playing in two browsers or more, or even intentionally. We altered our infrastructure to not let that happen. We don't want your old browser making save requests when the new one is the one you think you're playing on. So we improved that to kick you out of your old sessions. Thanks to the backend guys for doing that. That was a good lift. And then we've made fast forward improvements. I am reading in Discord what y'all are saying. You're saying like the one there where it says the refreshing, and there were some cases where people are saying the workers are not moving fast enough. So yeah, actually, let me take a little side on that real quick to talk about testing and determinism. Anybody who's listening probably plays this game pretty competitively, right? And any game, any RTS or FPS, whether it's like StarCraft or Halo, Command and Conquer, whatever, there is a deterministic aspect to that. And the problem here is the complexity in Townstar is such that you need more of a weather simulation type algorithm than you do a deterministic one. Like, is the grenade rolling down the hill? Where will it be in 8.3 seconds kind of thing? So we actually run a sim, a fast forward sim. That's why we call it fast forward. But the point of that is we need to improve our testing, because we need to say, given this town state with these buildings, this much money, whatever, fast forward X amount of seconds, the end town state should always be blah. And you don't see a lot of games do that. I mentioned that kind of testing to some of my friends who are also game devs, and they kind of laughed, and they're like, nobody in the game industry tests their games. I'm like, well, Gala's different, actually. So that's something that we definitely want to improve on. There were huge improvements that went out last week for Fast Forward, and I've been using it during this competition. And then on that note, we're always checking the logs. We're always reading them, making sure that the log reduction is working. There are way fewer errors than last week, so huge push by the team on that. Thank you, guys. Turned on more analytics. Why would you care about that as a player? Well, you want to know that we can see, right, that everybody's playing fair, that you're getting the harvest complete, analytics coming in, the storage complete, of course, the trade complete, all that stuff. Want to make sure everybody's playing fair, and we can audit towns if we have to. Now, here's the big one. We are changing how stars are synchronized. I will admit that our multi-threaded async leaderboard update approach, our architecture, just wasn't working out. It was too complicated. So, guys, pay attention to this part for sure. I'll make it just brain dead, simple, like I'm explaining it to myself at 3 a.m. here. the town save, your little wage timer, when that wage timer completes, 60 seconds have elapsed, and your town saves to our servers. When that happens, and only when that happens, will your leaderboard be updated. So let me show you a little infographic here. This is from top to bottom time. Earliest is at the top. 0 stars, 0 stars. Town save event, both are 0. Now you've made a couple trades. You're at 110, but your leaderboard will still show 0. After the next town save, it'll match your town stars. So your town will probably always be a little bit ahead. Yes, no free lunch. 2 plus 2 is 5. It'll always be a little bit ahead. The reason we're doing it this way is we want it to be absolutely guaranteed to match. So we've changed the architecture to match as the leaderboard catches up with your town saves. So that's something we're going to be pushing out today as well. There's some other fixes. The Sleepy Z's will no longer trigger when your buildings are crafting, and sudden spinning T's, right? We are approaching that. We are looking at all the reasons players disconnect. And and we're also implementing this let me paste, not old, but prior feature. It's in Discord. Putting the telling you why. Yes, thank you, Rocket Unit. Placing the info about why that's invalid to place there, the little red text. So that's good. We're also going to fix the salty field, show the green timer when it's near an ocean or haunted maze, zone 3. And that's been this week.
Awesome, thanks. That was really helpful about the leaderboard and knowing exactly when the leaderboard updates versus when your town stars update. Because I do see people sometimes wondering why their leaderboard score is slightly different than the one they see in their town. They just have to wait until the wage timer runs out and it updates. So that's good to know. Let's see, what do we got here? What is coming next for the game?
Let's see. Well, let's see. The competition starting next week is the salmon nigiri, right?
Yep.
Okay. From engineering, I can say we're going to continue to focus on the mobile, right? Still focus on the mobile browsers, like I mentioned before. First time user experience, that's something we're working on. Game design as well as UI, everybody trying to make sure that this is as friendly as possible to new players. And right now, all of our engineering work for the past 8 to 12-ish work days has been on stability and on player-facing fixes. Every game team has to balance between new features and fixing. And why would you care about like so-called stability as a player, right? Well, every game dev team has to classify tickets differently based on priority and urgency and all that. And Musashi and Sage and others have been like, hey, make sure you get as many player-facing fixes out there as possible. There's too many little quick wins that we can make that are not getting prioritized. So we've done that. Tons and tons of fixes that have gone out, as you guys have seen, especially last Friday. So some of the things that we're working on specifically are, like somebody mentioned, the spinning T. We're improving our reconnect logic. That's not going out today. That's still in test. We want to route players to less busy servers. So, obviously, if there's 4,000 people playing, that doesn't all run on one server. We want to route you to the most available server. That's an infrastructure update we want to do. And, of course, any outstanding NFT work. And then we're still looking into, we had one report of a rollback. Haven't seen a lot of those and definitely haven't seen as many in the logs. I hope that the combination of that little globe with the warning sign on it has helped people realize when they need to refresh. We'll get to that. The captain, what's the meta? We'll get to it. And then, of course, frozen units. So that's what's coming.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's see. I think we're moving on to Q&A. There was only one question submitted that wasn't something that we were already planning on answering, which we've already answered so far this morning. This question says, if a user enables offline mode during the competition and closes the window, does the leaderboard get updated for that user, or does it only update after the user logs in again?
Oh, okay. Yeah. just a quick recap on how offline mode works and why we think nodes would be a good candidate for that. When you log out, nothing happens to your town until you log in again. So short answer is yes, your leaderboard will be updated next time you log in and fast forward completes. So I hope that clears that up.
Awesome. So, does anyone out there have any other live questions? We'll keep track of them. The only one that I see that we populated into our document here so far is just asking after Mayhem, which is over now, will it be weekly or is it going to change? And for now, it's going to stay weekly. We are looking into maybe changing it up if people want a week off. So we'll try to come up with a different cadence if we're going to. But for now, just assume it's going to stay the same unless we know or let you know of anything otherwise. Are there any other live questions out there? Where on the screen does the globe thing show up? It's right on the top left-hand side of your screen next to where like your name and your town is. There should be a picture. There was a picture and announcements from the beginning of last week. I'll find it and make sure that I reshare it again in the competition announcement later today. Yes, Billy, the brightness on the time of day was reduced. I feel like it was just for the noon one, the high noon time, as we call it. The brightness was reduced a bit. I see Griffney asking a question about the truck returning and taking so long. I also went over that last week during our AMA. The reason for that is that the truck animation is only 30 seconds long, but if trade time is, say, 45 seconds, then there will be a 30-second animation for your truck, and it'll return, and then it'll sit there for the remaining time, which in that case would have been 15 seconds, and then you'll get your stars and your cash, and then the truck will be able to go back out. So if trade time is 60 seconds, for example, there'll be an extra 30 seconds that your truck just sits there waiting because the animation is only 30 seconds, but full trade time is 60 seconds. I know in the previous game we had that little bar that showed your trade depot's progress, so we should definitely look into adding that again. That feature it's been requested, so we'll see when we get there. But for now, just know that the animation is only 30 seconds. So if trade time is 60, it will sit there for an additional 30 seconds after it returns. Any other live questions out there? Let's move on while people formulate their questions. I think do we want to talk about the sale items next, or do we want to move on to leaks?
Normally we would have a case Rossera update on the sale items. Not sure if he's ready to share that or not.
Yes, let's do that.
Sweet.
So as we said before, we have fishing coming up next week. And we have two great NFTs to add you in making the best fishing town. First up, we have the aquaculturist apartments. It's a village full of aquaculturists, and not just any aquaculturist, but elite that move 50% faster and charge 50% less. Let me paste all the details. And here's the cool art that we've been working with. Next up, we have a fishing platform, the advanced fishing platform that can be placed anywhere and will only need half the ingredients. What that means is that it's pretty much like your wild net fishing, and it can be placed just about anywhere in your town. Yes, here's the art for it. As you can see, it's an inland fishing platform that you'll be able to place anywhere. So apart from these items being available separately, they will also be available as part of a pack. The Let's Go Fishing pack. It will come with 1 aquaculturist apartments and 2 advanced fishing platforms. There will only be 50 of them in the store, and they'll be priced at $500, which comes to over 25% of discount. I think that's about all I have. Back to you, Michelle.
Awesome, thank you. I guess I'll go into the competition really quick, and then we'll do art leaks with Sage. So the current competition was decorated cakes. That one ends in just a few hours here. The reward for that one was the crafty shrimp farm blueprint. So that is going to increase the speed of your shrimp farms, depending on rarity that you get. The next competition, as we just said, was a salmon nigiri. The reward for that one, I believe, is a speed boost for the fishing platforms and the wild net fishing. That biome is going to be forest north with no oil seep. And there will only be one ocean side. The rest of the sides will all be forest. That one ocean side will be on the east. So that means you will be using mostly fishing platforms and not wild net fishing. So prepare yourself for loss of fishing platforms. The trade time there will be 30 seconds, so nobody should have to worry about the weird gap after the animation of the truck this week. You're welcome. It'll still be 1 gas. We're going to cash boost white rice at 6,800 cash per white rice, and salt is going to remain boosted at 8,000. We're also doing a couple of other core changes to some points for this week. So shrimp is going to have a star value decrease from 57 to 30 stars each. Seaweed is going to be reduced from 12 to 6 stars each. And fish chum is going to be reduced from 165 to 110 stars. Those are permanent changes, not meta changes. That is all that I have for the competition event this week. Do we have art leaks, Sage?
Yes.
There
Yes.
they are.
When we see them, good. You know, it's crazy because I'm in a weird internet situation and this seemed to upload that art very, very fast today for some reason. But let's kind of talk about a couple of the images there. If you look, first one I put up, there's a seaweed farmer guy, right? Person, sorry. When you look at that, you can just, again, we just like to show the progression of, how things look as we're working on it. And when you look at the first original 3D model there, you're like, wow, look at all those triangles in there. And there's a lot of little details. And kind of as you look at it, you're like, are you actually going to see those on the game board at the regular game zoom? Not really. So our team, Gina, Bobina, everybody kind of went back, gave some feedback to the outsourcing, scaled things down, and looked at them, and then came up with the alternative, which uses less tries. And so for everybody who's out there worried about performance, just letting you know, we're always focused on that. Next image there, you can see, boy, we had to pull all of the NPCs together to make sure we're getting a common style as we're working forward. Sometimes you get style drift, and you can see how we're just trying to work on that old versus new, keep that together. It's kind of a cool cast of characters when you actually look at it. Let's see. Let me pull up next one to talk about there. So rice husk storage. The key one I would point out here is when you look all the way to the right-hand side, you see V2 versus V3. Again, this is an optimization of how do we reduce the number of tries, the performance hit that this building's going to, put on your GPU and your CPU as we put it in there. And you can see not much difference, but still a nudge down of maybe about 10% on the number of tries. So a lot of hard work going on the optimization. A couple other notes, and just like sharing stuff that's work in progress, you can see on the image with all the green terrain there and the different characters and whatnot. Working on tomato plants. You can see the original ones almost look like sea slugs with red pimples on it, and you were trying to come up with a new version for the new game, the new version of the game. One of the things I noted is if you kind of look over there in the far kind of right side, and you zoom in on the Sushi restaurant chef, you can see how sometimes an evolution goes a little too far. To me, the updated version looks a little bit like Mickey Mouse in terms of the ears, hair looking like ears. So we're going to jump in and address that a bit. And you could just see some more progress on there. A couple other, one other image there is the Italian restaurant. Just again, showing you the evolution of how we start, where we start with the concept and work our way through the process. And that's all we got on the art update there.
That is so cool.
Yeah, I'm so excited for some of it to come live. I see it in our We've got that one staging server with all the new art in it, and it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any idea when some of it's going to start going out so players can see it?
When? Yeah. I can jump in there. I know that Musashi and our producer and the art team are looking at making that just that transitional leap. Like, let's just swap it over, do a check, and push it out. Before we had the idea of releasing it in tranches, but now it's like, hey, I think just a steady stream. So I know there's plans being put together on that. I don't have the exact details yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be fun. All right. Well, I think that's about it for Volcron's updates. I don't have anything else to do. Maybe I could answer some questions audibly here when people have them in Discord.
Yeah, does anyone have any live questions out there? That was really all we had to talk about this week. It was a nice, quick week.
There
What's
are
the
people.
next meta? The next meta is salmon nigiri. Go for it, Volcron. I know you were going to say something.
Oh, just regarding fast forward. So we put the percent sign in there, so you'll know. Oh, I have time to stretch while this is loading. But I'm seeing people saying that they're showing screenshots and asking, "Will this ever load?" And there's no percent number in that circle. That is a bug. I would refresh. It should come up, briefly have no number in it, and then immediately go to like 0%, 2%, whatever. If you don't see the percent increasing, refresh, because that is a bug, and I'm filing that right now. So, what are we going back to the jewelry line at some point?
Yes. Yes, we do have plans for more jewelry in the future.
When do we get necklace? I think I saw somebody typing this just now. When do we get necklaces and bracelets with Townstar team member names in the art?
Oh, that would be fun.
Wouldn't that be cool? The Farmer Michelle
yeah.
pendant.
That sounds really cool. We have to do that.
Be great. Oh my gosh. And sparkly particle effects around your farmers if you've got the Farmer Michelle pendant. Be amazing. Oh, you're welcome, LV Postman. Yeah, the Malta and the previous year's Gala verse NFTs have been fixed. For anybody who's tried to place those, yeah, those will be fixed. Thank goodness, right? Seahorse, thank you for bringing back old meta and fishing meta.
Yeah, anytime.
Can we get practicability, this is from Zbor, on the casual while competition is going? Yeah, you can always exit your competition view and enter the casual view. But if you mean two towns at the same time and two browsers, no, that's not going to happen. We took that out. People are just making mistakes, running their town on two browsers and then being surprised when one overwrote the other, and yeah, so that's not a good thing.
See, M. Wellen asked a question about what'll happen if your town is on fast forward, but you don't log in until after
that was people's primary concern about fast forward. You will not currently, your town will not be fast forwarded currently. So what we need to do, we have plans to fast forward all towns up to the very last millisecond of the competition if you were not logged in and playing. For now, log in before the competition ends, even 15 minutes. Let it fast forward, bring you up to date, and just stay connected to the game until the competition ends and you get taken back to the main menu. So he says, so will we risk fast forward results after it ends? Well, if you wait till after it ends, you won't be able to join the game, right? And the only way fast forward happens is once you pick your town. So be in your town. Tantrum. What happens if we go to casual town while the competition's going on? What stopped my town running in competition mode? Now, if you go into your town settings and you say play offline, set to checked, then next time you enter that town, if it's been more than 60 seconds, your town will be fast forwarded. Seahorse, can we add leaderboard to casual server? Michelle, I feel like you would know about that. Is there a historic reason we don't do stars on casual server?
I know that we used to for the old game. There was a leaderboard on every server, but it ended up causing a lot of confusion with new players who thought that because there was a leaderboard on the 5 non-competition servers that it meant that they would get rewards. So it just caused a bunch of confusion for everybody. So we removed it so that it wouldn't cause confusion, so that people would know, oh, there's no leaderboard. There's obviously no leaderboard rewards here. So that is why there is
Okay.
no leaderboard on the casual server. I don't know if that'll be that way forever, but for now, while we've just got the competition events going and then the casual for practice, there's not going to be a leaderboard on the casual server.
Okay. Would yeah, no free lunch beat me to it. Would it make sense to have a modified view so you only see your current star count just for your town in casual, and you don't get distracted or confused by a leaderboard? Would that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, if we could find a way to make it so that it just showed stars but said that there was no leaderboard and that there was no rewards, that would definitely work out.
Okay. Putting some notes. All right.
Any other live questions out there, guys?
Captain Jupiter leaderboard on the top with no. There are no payouts for this leaderboard. Yeah, I don't know. I think Michelle's idea might be better about just having the stars.
Mr. Trupo, we kind of talked about the research center a bit last week. It kind of will come back into the game in a way, but it's not going to be the same as it was. What the research center was in the Townstar Legacy game was a test to see how buffs would work if we could have a way to add buffs in the middle of a game, and how that would all work if people reach them and achieve them, and if it would update and how that would affect gameplay, and if people were interested in doing things like that. And I imagine at some point it'll end up being a coin sink in the game where you can, spend your coin and it'll boost your town that way. And that'll probably work into the economy somehow. We will have the light paper out in the next couple of weeks, I imagine. And there'll probably be some more details in there about how coin sinks will work. But that's what the plan is for that.
I have we kick around ideas all the time about different stuff that make the game better. What would be the reaction if we had a third? It's not casual, it's not competition or events, but it's NFT practice mode where you have one of the highlighted NFTs that week or whatever available to you just in that practice town, or maybe we put that in the casual mode as well. What would the reaction to that be, do you think, Michelle?
If we had a mode where people could use NFTs?
A mode where if you don't own an NFT that we're highlighting that week, we're like, hey, this week we really want you to see, the Malta NFT or something we're selling. Have a practice mode where people can experiment with that NFT to see how they like it. Would that be a popular feature?
I think that'd be super cool. I like to jump into spider tanks and play around with other things that I don't have, though usually through the rentals, because you can test them out, see what they look like, see if you want to buy them.
Okay.
So I think it comes in handy.
Yeah. Okay. People are putting it much more concisely. Teaser mode, NFT test mode, try before you buy. Okay. That seems to be.
I see a lot of people asking about if there's going to be updates to Fast Forward this week. There are pretty much constantly updates for Fast Forward, so it's pretty much every time there's a game update, assume that there's server stability updates and Fast Forward improvements.
Yeah. Factory Act. Dragon NFT first. Oh, interesting. I think Case Ross Raw had an idea for new players to make. One of the main challenges, right, is gas production. What would you guys think about a newbie town where you get free gas only in a casual mode, or something that produces gas for you or trades, right? The NFT that trades for no gas cost.
Or imagine you come with a green dragon sitting on your board.
Yeah. All right. Well, what do you think? Sage, Firm, Michelle, Case Rossra. What do you think, guys?
I don't see any other live questions. I just see people asking for the same features over and over and over again.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that concludes our AMA. Thank you, everybody, for joining. It was really fun. Yeah,
Like and subscribe.
Non-ironically, right? We're saying, yeah, please do.
And just double checking, everybody, the audio stream continued to work well today, right? Yes, any type of test down for newbies is good. Okay. Audio worked well, guys? Yeah? I guess we're perfect audio. Okay. Thanks, Ives.
Okay. All right. Well, it's been a wonderful Friday morning here on the Townstar team. I hope everybody has an awesome weekend. And thanks for coming to our AMA. Have a good one.
Hey, thanks, everybody. See you soon.
Thanks, all.
Bye, everyone.
Hey, guys.